Hey guys, it's Homewrecker, and today I want to talk to you guys a little bit about Planetary Annihilation. I know I already made my quick look video at the alpha, but I do want to talk a little bit about some of the drama that's been going on lately ever since Planetary Annihilation made its way over to Steam Early Access. So last fall, I was really into the pitch that Uber Entertainment put together. I got really excited about it. I made a video on it at the time, mainly using footage that the developers had shown. And I pledged a pretty decent amount to the game, mainly because the way that they had their rewards set up is there were two tiers where you could get early access to the game rather. One was through the alpha test, which was for $90 and up pledgers, and the other was for beta tests, which was $60 and up. Otherwise, you would just get a standard copy of the game. So I did contribute a decent amount. I secured access to the alpha and to the beta, and I was under the impression as a Kickstarter that these things would be exclusive to Kickstarters. There was really no mention of the fact that, oh hey, by the way, after this you can still pledge and get access to the alpha or the beta. The developers never made that clear. So as somebody who kickstarted the project and contributed a decent amount, I was a little bit surprised when they set up access to both the alpha and beta direct through Uber Entertainment Store. To anybody that wanted to get in on it after the Kickstarter had ended. You know, for just coming from my point of view, I thought, you know, hey, I need to really rush into this at the Kickstarter campaign and back it if I want to lock this down. And obviously that wasn't the case. I could have waited for as long as I wanted, and even waited to hear, you know, from other people what their impressions were before contributing that much money. And, you know, I went ahead and did it. So, you know, again, I'm looking at this from my point of view as a Kickstarter, but here's kind of the problem. Recently, it was just in the past couple days or so, Uber Entertainment put the Planetary Annihilation Alpha on Steam as part of their early access program. So anybody can now get access to the alpha build through Steam, but here's the catch. You gotta pay the same amount as Kickstarters and everyone else who has been paying for the alpha through their Uber Entertainment store at their official webpage. Now, this has rubbed some people the wrong way. There's a lot of rage. People went and bombed the game on Metacritic. I don't know why Metacritic put a listing for Planetary Annihilation on their site already, when technically the game is not even close to being released. But Metacritic chose to do that. They've got it listed, and people bombed the hell out of the reviews this morning. And when I first looked at it, after seeing a tweet from Total Biscuit, it had reached all the way down to like 2.3 out of 10. And since it's come up a little bit, there's been some defenders that have kind of come out of the woodwork. But it's still a really, really disappointing situation to see. You know, there's people that I guess feel that they're entitled to getting access to the alpha for what the developers are going to actually be charging for the full game, which is going to be supposedly $30. Now, I don't agree with that. I really don't understand that perspective. You've got these people, again, who were Kickstarters that took on all this risk. All they had was a pitch video, and they had developers saying, we want to make this really cool game. All we've got to show you is this video right now that kind of represents what we're going for, but it's not actual gameplay footage. You can't play the build. This is what we want, though, and we want a lot of money. They actually were asking for $900,000, and they got $2.2 million from 44,000 backers. We took on the risk. We were the Kickstarters that took on the risk of this game and helped make it happen. We paid a premium price to lock down access to the alpha and to the beta. And yet there are people that feel that it would be fair to the very same people that took on that risk and pledged significant amounts of money to the developers that they should essentially get the game for $30. They should get access to the alpha or even to the beta for $30. That is insane. You guys did not take on the risk that the Kickstarters took on. And even at the $60 tier with the beta test pledgers, there are people in the gaming community right now that are raging over this price issue that feel that even at $60 for the beta, that's absolutely absurd. It's unfair. It's a cash grab. It's them, you know, essentially screwing over gamers or driving them away. In my opinion, Uber Entertainment should have never given anybody on Steam the ability to jump in, let alone, in my opinion, again, anybody on their website, because these were things that, as far as I or anybody else knew, were opportunities meant for Kickstarters. It said nothing else about being available to individuals who chose not to kickstart, but yet the developers chose to do that on their store and now on Steam. And, you know, honestly, to sit there and then vote bomb the game on Metacritic or wherever else, talk all this shit about the game on different websites and communities, I've seen so much hate. Even on Steam, there are tons and tons of comments on their community page of people that are just raging and telling Uber Entertainment to essentially F off, or that they're never going to buy their game or whatever else over this pricing issue. All I've got to say to that is put yourself in the shoes of the people that kickstarted the game. There are developers that have offered early access to games, and they never give that opportunity to the public once the Kickstarter's over. If you didn't get in during the Kickstarter, too bad. But here, Uber Entertainment is extending the same offer to you guys without, in my opinion, ever consulting with the Kickstarters in the first place, saying, hey, are you guys cool with this? They never did that. But they've offered, or they've extended the very same offer to everybody that the Kickstarters had. And yet people want to freak out about it. There's absolutely no way that I could ever see a justification for Uber Entertainment to lower their prices on the alpha or the beta. These prices are essentially fixed. These are what other people paid for the early access. They're not trying to charge you $90 for a $30 game. They're not trying to charge you $60 for a $30 game. They're trying to keep things fair with those who kickstarted the game. And beyond that, they have offered some rewards, some of the same types of rewards that Kickstarters have gotten. I believe there's a few things taken out, like character skins or whatnot, or some of the special rewards of that tier. But still, they do try to raise the value, essentially, where you are getting more for spending more. But beyond that, you're getting early access to their game. You get the opportunity to contribute to the game. You can provide feedback to the game. And I believe they also put people's names in the credits still. I don't know if that's actually carried over to Steam or what, but I believe I saw that on the Uber Entertainment store, where they were still adding names to the credits for these different tiers that you could pledge. So, you know, really, you know, I find it somewhat offensive as somebody that, you know, it feels very, very close to the gaming community. I've been gaming for as long as I can remember. I've been involved in a number of different communities. I run a YouTube channel. Before that, I was writing about games. And just seeing gamers flip the fuck out over something so silly is childish to me. And it's very ignorant. Everyone knows that there was a Kickstarter. Everyone knows that there were pledges involved here for the most part. You know, I hate saying everyone, but most people know on the internet what this game actually went through to actually become a game. And people made decisions not to kickstart it, whether they didn't have the money or they didn't have faith in Uber Entertainment to make a good game, or whatever else. And it's not to say that I think that the game is perfect right now. It's buggy as hell. And nobody knows if they're going to be able to pull off their big vision for the game with this, you know, solar system warfare, essentially, of being able to move your forces over to the moon or to an asteroid, or use an asteroid as a weapon, or colonize gas giants and volcano planets and water worlds and whatnot. Nobody knows if they're going to be able to pull that off. But, you know, at the end of the day, people had faith that they could potentially do it, and all the way to the point that they gave them $2.2 million. And those are the people who deserve to get rewarded, in my opinion. The fact that anybody else in the public has been extended the same offer is extremely generous, in my opinion, regardless of the pricing. And I don't view it as a cash grab. I view this as being a way to keep things equal and fair to those who had faith in them. So I hope that you guys will look at the situation differently. And, you know, I'm not trying to come off as somebody that's trying to paint this game in this, you know, crazy good light that it's going to be the best thing ever and that only we deserve to have access to it. That's not the point at all. It's the point that we have made a contribution to this game and we paid to get these rights, get this access to the game, and it would be unfair to us to give this away to people for $30. I think that if you really sit down and think about it, you'll understand where I'm coming from and why a lot of Kickstarters probably feel this way, and why what Uber Entertainment is doing right now on Steam is fair. And they've been doing this for a while. It wasn't just Steam. Before this, they were doing it on the Uber store. You guys could have gotten access to the alpha 2 weeks ago outside of Steam by going to the Uber store. But again, people chose not to do it. But for whatever reason, people are freaking out now that it's on Steam. I think it needs to stop. People need to stop being ignorant about the situation, understand why Uber Entertainment is doing this, and not bomb a game that isn't even out yet. It's just stupid. I hate when I see gamers do this. I absolutely hate it. Even with the whole Secure ROM issue before, with disk-based protection and whatnot, or Star Force, people review bombing games that they haven't even played just because they're against something that the game does. In my opinion, if you're going to review a game properly, if you're actually going to assign a rating to it, you need to at least try to play it. If, you know, for example, with the whole disc-based thing, if you got the game, you bought it, it's in your hand, you try to install the game, you can't play it because of the protection, then that's a reason to rate something down. But there have been so many people in the past that would go to places like Amazon or Metacritic and shit all over a game in writing with negative ratings that drag the overall ratings down without ever even trying to play it. The game wasn't even out yet. And there are people doing these like retaliatory reviews against games. It's stupid. So I should probably wrap this up. I'm in total rant mode here, and you know, I'm essentially just trying to let you guys know where I'm coming from as a Kickstarter, and again, as somebody that's not trying to make this out to be the next best game. I have high hopes for it. I really hope things work out in terms of their big design plans and whatnot. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed because I think it's a huge challenge for the developers. But, you know, again, this is more about the whole aspect of kickstarting a game and keeping things fair for those that had faith in the game from the start. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this thing up here, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you think that I'm totally off base, feel free to let me know. If you can see where I'm coming from, I'd appreciate if you guys let me know as well. And hopefully I change some of your minds out there, because this is a game that I think that people should keep an eye on. If you can't afford access to the alpha or the beta, no harm done. Wait until the retail game comes out. Retail game is probably going to be 30 bucks. This day and age, getting a RTS game for 30 bucks is not that bad. Company of Heroes 2 is coming out very soon, and I know a lot of guys who have spent $99 to get the the collector's edition. And in the US, that's primarily the digital collector's edition. We don't even really get like an Uber box copy. So, you know, getting a game for 30 bucks that's an RTS of, you know, this type of design is pretty damn crazy. They could have made Supreme Commander 3D, or 3 rather, for 60 bucks. Anyway, that's it, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. As always, please do be sure to like, favorite, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy this video. And I will see you guys next time.